Nice to meet you, Ross, and the guys from Immolation. She's from Antichrist, Metalheads. How are you?
Good, doing good. We're happy to be back in Romania. This is our third time here. So,
Third time.
Yeah, second time in this venue. So I think the last time we were here was 2012 on the Marduk tour. Yeah. So so we expect hopefully a good show. The last time it was great, it was a crazy show. Fans were awesome, people were great, so that's why we're here.
So as you said, you're back here in Romania, and currently you are touring together with Melechesh and Azarath.
Yes.
So how's the tour going so far?
Really good, great. The band's a killer. I mean, it's a great package. I mean, we didn't see the package until about a month before the date, right when the dates were announced, about a month before the tour started. So we had toured with Melechesh before in 2008, so we know Ashmedi, and he's got a different lineup now since when we toured with him in 2008. But awesome band, love the band. They offer something very unique to the tour package.
Yeah.
And it's our first time touring with Azarath. And the cool thing about that is the drummer and the bass player are old crew guys of ours. They used to work with Massive Music, so we've known them for years. And now they work crew guys for Behemoth. They're Behemoth's techs. So they're good friends of ours, so it's nice to see them, playing instead of working the tour, so it's nice. And Azarath's a killer band. I mean, we watch both bands almost every night, and just awesome every night. So it's a fun tour. Everybody's cool, no issues, no drama. Well, here and there, but but on a whole, it's been very positive. So.
Yeah. Then in February of this year, you have released your number 10 album entitled as Atonement. So how are the songs are shaping up live, and what is the crowd response?
Crowd response has been really good because I think a lot of people really enjoyed the new record. The feedback has been very positive. So we're playing a lot of new songs on this tour. We're doing 8 new songs. And I don't know, the new songs are fun to play, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think they go over the past, especially for us, it's something new to play, but I think the songs, as we write, as the albums come, each album gets better, and I think these songs just have they go over live much better. They're more geared for live play, and they go over great. So we've been having a good time.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, you have been a bit late releasing this album since the last one, Kingdom. So actually 4 years passed. So why was this delay?
We've always been on like a 3-year cycle, more or less, 3 to 4 years, sometimes 5. But it's just the usual, we didn't do a ton of touring for Kingdom in the beginning. We did a lot of touring for Kingdom at the end, So after, I think we did 1 tour in the US for Kingdom and 1 tour in Europe initially. And then at the end of the 3rd year, we did a lot of stuff. We came up with Marduk, then we did festival stuff. We did Australia, New Zealand, we did Iceland. So we had a busy end of cycle for Kingdom. And then that was it. It took a lot longer to write this record. It took over a year to write this record, which is unusual for us. Usually it takes about 4 months, but it took a long time, Bob.
It was 3 songs one time, and then in about 4 months was the rest of the album. Sometimes it's hard to get to because, with work schedule and everything else that we have going on. So.
Yeah, we started writing in March of the 1 year, and we didn't start recording till June of the following. So yeah, it was over a year, the whole process. So.
And then Steve broke his leg.
Steve broke his leg, and that set us back about 6 months. So yeah, there was a lot of setbacks, but it worked out fine. The album turned out great, so we're happy. So.
And on this album, you still kept your great sound, your brutal sound, and also you kept the lyrical themes about religion, so anti-religion. So how much these lyrics and this theme is important for you?
Oh, the lyrics are as important as the music. You have to both have to be equally strong, I mean, the music on this record was very dark, very strong, very dynamic, and the lyrics, I think, on this album, I think turned out the best, you know. And it's not only anti-religion; it talks a lot about just the world, the craziness of our world today, you know, the political failures, the humanity's failures, you know. So it looks at a lot of different aspects of our reality today, you know, our very dark reality. So that's, I think, the focus of the album, you know. Religion plays a small, it's a small piece in that puzzle on this record. There's only maybe like 2 songs on the record that are, religious, specifically about religion, Atonement being one of them, you know. So, but the rest of the songs all just deal with the very dark realities of our world today, you know.
Bob, as usual, did a great job. You have a unique style to play on this album.
Thank you.
What are you doing actually to keep this brutal sound?
I don't know what the hell's going on. It's just, when it comes to writing, you just go by feeling, and that's really what it comes down to. So you just keep writing until stuff comes to you, and, you try and just do the best you can and come up with stuff that's dark and heavy and unique and interesting and put it together in such a way that it is as well. So, I think it's just the experience of doing it for the past 30 years, you get better at it as you go. And like I tell everybody, the toughest part is just getting started because you have a blank slate. But once you get started, when things start coming, it starts coming together little by little. The last time I hit a little glitch after a few songs, but, once you find that feeling again, and then it comes, But yeah, just by feeling and trying to make the best stuff that we can. That's pretty much it. No secrets. It's just,
Yeah. You have put in the old logo of Immolation on the new album. Why have you decided to use the old logo?
It just looked good aesthetically. Plain and simple. It worked. I mean, we tried to use the old logo on the last couple of albums, but it didn't work with the artwork. Our logo is weird. If you make it too small because you're talking about a CD cover that's that big.
Yeah.
So for the logo to look right, it has to, at least be a certain size. If it's too small, it looks stupid, And a lot of times the logo also takes away from the artwork. It steps on the artwork. So visually, it's an aesthetic thing. So, the last couple of records, the text logo worked out better. Kingdom of Conspiracy, the Scion release, the text logo looked better. But when we tried to do the mock-ups on this record, the text logo just didn't really add anything to the piece. It just was kind of blah, So this piece, the artwork on Atonement had, it just kind of lent to that because you had a nice space over the angel where the logo could be prominent and it wasn't stepping on the artwork, and it actually looked really good. It looked dark, it looked sinister, and it actually added something artistically to the piece. So that's it. People always think, oh, I haven't used the old logo just because it looks stupid on so many album covers, So we always used it, but it's used inside the art, inside the CD booklet or inside the vinyl. So
Never went away.
what?
Never went away.
Yeah, it never went away, and that's the funny thing, we get a lot of questions about that, believe it or not, About the old logo. It's just like, well, the band hasn't changed because the logo is different. The band is still the same. I understand that people like the old logo. I like it too. I love it. I think it looks sick. All of our merchandise has the old logo on it because that's the logo, So
That's the original logo.
yeah, that's OG.
So for the next albums, you will still use the old logo from now.
We'll see.
Depends on the artwork.
Depends on the artwork and depends on where we need to put it. So we'll see.
We've always used it for merchandise and everything else along the way anyways. It's not like we stopped using it, it just doesn't work on the album cover all the time, that's all.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
But do you have in mind a new album or maybe a live DVD to release?
We're gonna start working on a new record, probably early next year for sure. Oh wait, early or later next year? Early next year.
Probably later this year.
I had to think about where we were in the year. I don't even know what year.
We'll start writing soon.
Yeah, but no plans for like a live DVD or album. Nothing right now.
We gotta get the songs down first, then maybe we could get a lot.
Yeah, once we learn how to play them properly, maybe.
What do you consider to be, the best Immolation album you have released so far?
I like the new one. because it's new, it's fresh. I think it encompasses everything we've done, but it's better written, it's better executed, it's better produced. Lyrically, I think by far it's our strongest, it's our darkest record lyrically and musically. Maybe I'm just, biased because it's the newest one and I'm always more partial to the new releases, but I like it. It's good. I mean, the songs are fun to play. I mean, what do you think? Alex would be a good one to ask for this because he just joined the band like, a year ago. So, and he's been with us. He's been a friend and fan of ours for like forever. So he'd be a good person to.
I would say I go back with the band since before Immolation, since the Rigor Mortis demo. So I go back a long ways, and for me, I think the new record is the best record. Period. And I love all the albums and stuff. But, I just feel that the songwriting, the atmosphere, lyrically, everything is just top notch. And I think it's just the craftsmanship has improved. Especially over the last, I'd say probably the last 20 years. It's like really, getting better and better and better. This record from the beginning to the end, there's no B-sides, to the record. Someone would say they're all hits.
They're all. Yeah, there's no filler. There's no filler.
And playing the songs too. I enjoy playing the newer material more than I enjoy playing the older stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And I think they also go over better
For different reasons.
live too with the crowd. It's like,
Yeah.
for instance, when we did the first tour cycle for the album, it was before the record came out. We toured the States in February. We were playing 5 new songs off the record, and fans then heard the songs yet, and they were just the reaction was awesome.
Yeah.
Especially to songs you never even heard before. It was just, going over so well. So, yeah, I mean, personally, I would say the new record. I mean, every band would say that. Oh, the new record's the best, but.
Yeah, that's why it's like for him to answer that question. That's for me to answer it's different because I've been playing the other songs for 30 years. Some of them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as someone who's fresh, and has a fresh perspective, I think he's best qualified to answer that. Really.
How do you see that metal scene nowadays comparing with the past one?
I think it's pretty good now. I mean, but this scene has always had its ups and downs.
Always.
In the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, it was probably its strongest, I think, And then probably late 90s, done. There was no interest in death metal at all. In Europe and the US, it was like non-existent. And then it had a surge again somewhere in like the mid-2000s. And I think it's been, slowly building momentum because you have new generations of fans, You still have, certain bands keep putting out albums that are just reliable, Every time a certain band puts out an album, it's going to be decent or it's going to be at least good, And then you have certain bands that kind of have broken through, not mainstream, but have kind of gone to that next level, like I'll mention Behemoth, for example, because Behemoth now has toured the States with Slayer. They've opened up for Slayer in the United States. Yeah. They're a very high-profile band, but they're an extreme death metal band that brings a lot of, new listeners and brings their interest into, the death metal scene. So it's cool. It's cool. It's nice to see that. So you need that. You need certain bands to kind of break through to kind of get more mainstream acknowledgement. Not mainstream. Maybe that's not the word, but more acknowledgement from fans who may not have gone down that path.
Yeah, more of a mass appeal. I'd say.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I think also key is that there's a younger audience that discovered all the music that we were doing way back then, and
Yes.
if it wasn't for them, you really wouldn't have much of an audience because people get older, they have families, they don't come out as much as they used to, and we still get people that are our age coming out to shows, but for the most part, it's a younger audience, and I just think it's just there's a lot of people that are younger that want to find the roots to anything, whether it be rock and roll or heavy metal or death metal. So they want to go back and find out where does this all come from. So a band like Immolation, I think that falls into that. It's one of the originators of the scene.
There are some bands who still used to talk about people behind the keyboard, and also talking about the downloading thing. So, what's actually your opinion about the metalheads behind the keyboard who used to do maybe unusual comments, or also about downloading, people not buying merch anymore?
I think the metal scene is unique, unlike a lot of the other genres of music. Metal fans still support the bands they enjoy, so they still buy the t-shirts, they still like physical products, they still want the vinyl, you know, and I think that's very unique to the metal scene. You know, I think in other genres of music you don't see that. It's all digital, it's all download, you know. So at least I think the metal fans are excited about owning the physical product and supporting the bands they like. You know, when the fans come out to our shows, they support us. They buy our merchandise, they buy our CDs, and we're grateful for that. You know, we don't expect that, but, you know, we offer that to them. You know, here's our shirts, you know, and when I was 14, 15 and I went to a concert, I would buy like all the shirts of the bands I liked, you know what I'm saying? You know? So, yeah, and your comment about the guys making comments at home on their keyboards, you know, that's a modern kind of thing. That's social media, you know, and that's well, I'm not on social media. I mean, we have a Facebook page for the band, but I don't. That's unnecessary for me. It's not important. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Life happens. You know, it's not all about you know, computers and cell phones. You know.
Yeah. After this tour is done, do you plan other tours?
Yeah, we go out in the States in November with Mayhem. We support Mayhem in the States. So that'll be a good tour. It'll be, I think, a well-attended tour in the States. And then we do a show in Puerto Rico right after that. And then we're going to try to come back here in March next year. Next year will be 30 years anniversary for the band. So we're going to have a big party.
I make sure to be here, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
If you come back.
Hopefully.
Where do you feel more great, in USA or in Europe? And here I make a connection about the fans. Are the fans in USA better than the ones from Europe?
If you would ask me that question like 20 years ago, I would lean towards Europe being more, you know, fanatical. But I don't know, the last couple of times we toured in the United States and Canada, the fans were just as fanatical over in our neck of the woods as they are over here. So, and I think fans are fans. You know, if fans like a band, they're going to be excited to see the band. You know, we played shitty shows over here. We played shitty shows in the United States. You know, we played great shows over here and great shows in the United States. So, you know, people are people, fans are fans. You know, sometimes they react differently in different countries. You know, some crowds are more stoic, more. The type of crowd that likes to watch and listen to a band and not really get energetic. You know, I personally prefer the more energetic crowds because it's a give and take of energy, you know, so when a crowd just stands there, it's kind of hard to kind of, you know, force it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you always got to remember that not everybody's going to go crazy in the pit or going to, you know, headbang through the whole set. You know, some people just like to watch and absorb, you know. So.
I'm that kind.
Yeah, so it's everybody's different, so I try not to pass judgment, you know, based on crowd reaction. So,
no. What are those two death metal bands would you like to go on a tour with?
Oh wow! I think we've toured with just about every band out there that, you know, we've you know, that mean anything. I mean, it would be cool to do a tour with Behemoths for sure. We know those guys. We're fans of their band. What else? What else, guys? First band that popped to my list. Yeah. Nostalgia-wise, I'd like to do some with Autopsy. That would be killer.
Or maybe a thrash metal band, or...
But they don't tour, so.
Yeah. We're talking bands that tour, yeah. I mean, we've pretty much toured with everybody. You know, we've toured with Cannibal Corpse, we've toured with Napalm Death, we toured with everybody in the past. I mean, you know, but it's tours like this that I enjoy as well, you know, because the Melechesh guys are a phenomenal band. You know, they have a very unique thing going on. and they're great people. Azarath too. I mean, just very solid band, intense, like every night, just killing it every night. So
I think what's most important is just control of good people.
yes,
Yeah.
It's not,
there you
you know,
go.
band doesn't matter. It's just as long as you're good people, that's who I'm.
There's the number one answer. Agreed.
And we've been fortunate.
We've been very fortunate. We've toured a lot of really awesome people, like humble people, not rock stars, you know, and
Yeah.
just good people. And that's all I want to do is tour with good people. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, thanks a lot for this interview. It was my pleasure, and can't wait to see you on stage. Cheers from Antichrist Metal Zine.
thank you. Thanks for interviewing us, and enjoy the show. That's an order.
Yeah.